Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Rokhsana Akhter Rupee once again before all of you. Today we will review the part 1 and 2 of how to chair a meeting, and we will also review part 3 and 4 if time allows. So let's begin. As you can see, I've written on the board like what to say in the beginning of a meeting just to grab attention of the attendees. So as you can see, I have written, first I'm greeting people. So if you are a chair of a meeting or if you are chairing a meeting, the first thing that you'll have to do is you'll have to greet the audience just to, get their attention. So you can say good morning, or you can say good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, or you can address them as everyone, or you can say ladies and gentlemen. You can say dear colleagues or fellow teammates. So how you are supposed to address your audience, it's completely up to you, and that would definitely depend on the people who are attending the meeting. That will depend on the relation that you have with the attendees during the meeting. So as a chair, if I'm there in a meeting and I have my colleagues there, I can say good morning everyone, or good morning dear colleagues. So feel free to choose your own addressing just to address your attendees in the meeting. So when you are a chair, for example, people are not organized in the beginning. Maybe some of them are talking to each other, or they are busy in doing some other business, but you have to grab their attention first. So you greet and then you call for attention. So could I have your attention please? You can say it like that. Could I have your attention please? So for example, good morning everyone. Could I have your attention please? All right? Or you can say, if I could have your attention please. If I could have your attention please. All right? So then people will just pay attention to you and then grab their seat and concentrate on the meeting, and just to they will be ready to begin the meeting. Then you will welcome them formally. Okay? So to welcome them, you can use these expressions. You can either say, I'd like to welcome you all here today. Now let's get down to business. So I'd like to welcome all here today. I'd like to welcome all here today. Now let's get down to business. So the first task is you are welcoming, and then you are saying them to start the meeting. So now let's get down to business. That means now let's start our main thing. Or you can say, thank you all for coming. So you are thanking everybody for coming, for attending the meeting, and then you're saying, perhaps we can make a start. Perhaps we can make a start. So thank you all for coming. Perhaps we can make a start. So you can either say, let's get down to business, or you can say, perhaps we can make a start. And then, thanks everyone and welcome to today's meeting. Let's begin. So this is the direct way and the informal way. Like if in a professional situation you are meeting with your teammates or your close distant people, you can use this expression as well. So thanks everyone and welcome to today's meeting. Let's begin. We can also welcome our guests or the attendees of the meeting and introduce ourselves, and then we can begin the meeting. So we can write it in this way, or we can say it in this way. I'd like to welcome you all here today. My name's, for example, Rokhsana Akhter Rupee, or you can put your name here, and I'm the training manager, I'm the TESOL manager, or the language instructor here. I have Mr. or Ms. Mr. or Ms. This with me here with us. Mr. or Ms. this here with us. Okay, so there are two here's I need to just wipe one. So let's begin from let's say from the beginning. I'd like to welcome you all here today. My name's Rokhsana, so you'll have to put your name here, and I'm the language instructor of this company. I have Mr. or Ms. this here with us. So he or she is going to make a presentation today, or introduce the topic, or introduce the project today, or explain the project today with us. So you can put any word suited to the environment or the meeting topic. All right, and then you can say, now let's get down to business. So this is how you can do it as well. So the first thing is you call for attention. When people are paying attention to you, you welcome them, introduce yourself, and then you invite them to begin the business or to begin the task. So this is how you can do it. So what's the next step? Let's see. Now, introduce your topic and agenda. So first, we got the attention of the attendees, we welcomed them, we thanked them, we introduced ourselves, and then we told them to get down to business, or to begin, or to make a start. The next thing that we can do is introduce the topic and agenda. We can say it like, today the topic is this. So feel free to add any word as per the topic of your own meeting. I don't know what's that. You can also say, the aim of today's meeting is, fill in the gap. You can move further saying, we'll cover or go over our company's or our department's budget, new recruitment, or new policies. Feel free to add any word as per your necessity. Okay? You can do it in a different way. Here, you can make a list. Like, we'll cover or we'll go over. These are synonymous. So you can either say cover, or you can also say go over. Our company's or our department's budget, comma, new recruitment, comma, and HR policy. It's up to you. Feel free to add any words, any word. You can also say, to elaborate a little more on the agenda, you can use some signposting languages. For example, we'll begin. So this is a signpost. This lets your attendees know about what you are going to begin with. So we'll begin. This is a signpost. So we'll begin with budgeting. We'll continue by, or we'll continue with, and finally we'll share our ideas or receive feedbacks based on whatever we have discussed or will be discussing throughout the meeting. So this is how you can do it. You can elaborate a little more on the agenda. This is how you can introduce your agenda. Now, what as a chair you are supposed to say in between? For example, Mr. or Ms. Someone else is making a presentation, or presiding over the meeting, or conducting the based on the agenda, conducting the meeting or the presentations based on the items on the agenda. As a chair, you can add these few words in the transitions. So when the first topic has been discussed or the first topic is over, you can say, I think that covers the first item in the agenda. And when the second item is over, you can also say, I think the second item is covered pretty well. You can say, I think that covers the third item in the agenda. And then you can add, saying, if nobody has anything more to add, if nobody has anything more to add, we can continue on to the next item. So for example, if we say, I think that covers the first item. If nobody has anything more to add or anything else to add, we can continue on to the next item. We can continue on to the next item. So this is how you can do it. Moving on, we can invite attendees to share their ideas as well. Your topics in the agenda are discussed. The items in the agenda are discussed. Still, you must give a chance to other attendees in the meeting. You can call for their ideas or idea sharing or any feedback. So you can say, Mr. or Ms. this, I'd like to hear from you on this. For example, Mr. X, I'd like to hear a few words, or I'd like to hear from you on this. So here, HEAR. So Mr. X, I'd like to hear from you on this. We can also say, Ms. Julia, would you like to share your opinion, or would you like to share your thoughts, or would you like to share your ideas on this? Also, you can say, could you add anything to our discussions or findings here today? Mr. X or Ms. Sonia, could you add anything to our discussion or findings here today? So this is how you can ask for feedbacks or more ideas or opinions or thoughts from the other attendees, specifically from those participants of the meeting who didn't say a word yet or who didn't participate in the discussion so far. Now, if I'm a chair, how am I supposed to take turns? For example, person 1 is introducing the item 1 in the agenda. So what should I say to refer to person 2 once topic 1 is over? For example, we can say, okay, all right, now I'd like Mr. or Miss X to have the floor. Or now I'd like Ms. Sonia to introduce the next item. Another example? Well, now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. or Ms. X, who's going to lead in the next point. So this is how we can, as a chair, we can take turns and transfer the topic from one to another attendees. Now, in every meeting, as in every presentation situation, we encounter kind of distractions during the discussion or feedback session or question-answer session. So how, as a chair, we should control those situations? So let's see. It says we should always stay on topic. We should always tackle distractions, and as a chair, it's our responsibility to interrupt politely. And so how we can do that? For example, the first one, may I request all to stay on the topic, please? For example, you often see in the meetings, like if someone starts discussing on a particular point and they kind of argue each other, and then they start arguing, and it gets too much off topic. It just gets into a chaos sometimes. So you can say, may I just request all to stay on the topic, please? I'd not appreciate if you get too far off topic here. So you can also say it like that. So I'd not appreciate if you get too far off topic here. You can say, I don't consider it to be relevant to today's discussion. So we can say it specifically when people discuss irrelevant things, okay, that doesn't connect to the agenda of your meeting. So you can say, I don't consider it to be relevant to today's discussion. And finally, we can say, like, if someone says something and you think it's an added point to the agenda and it's not included in the agenda, but still someone wants to talk about that, you can stop them and delay them, saying, we better discuss that at the end if you think it's important. We better discuss that at the end if you think it's important. So this is how you can just delay them, stop them, staying on the agenda, staying on the topic. You can finish your agenda, and then if time allows, you can move to that. So this is how you do it as a chair. Yeah, now summarizing and closing your meeting. Let's see how to do that. It's a meeting manner. It's a meeting manner that you summarize once everybody is done discussing every point. You summarize as a chair. You summarize the main point or the main discussion point or the main decisions that have been taken throughout the discussion in the meeting. So you can say as a chair, to sum up, and then you add what are the things that you did. So to sum up, we also, and finally we, all right? And once it's all over summarizing, you can conclude, you can close the meeting. Just to close the meeting, you can use these remarks. We can have other remarks as well. You can have better words. If you can use better words if you have, but for the time being, from my part, you can say all these things. If you don't want to, just waste much of your time thinking what else I can say. So, or okay, or all right. It seems like we've covered all items from today's agenda. Is there any other items, or is there any other business, or is there any other question, or is there any other pending items that you shelved or tabled in last time? So shelve or table it. Shelve it or table it means you keep it on hold to discuss in the next meeting, because today the time is not enough to discuss that or to discuss a new topic. So if anything comes new at the end of your meeting, you can just shelve it. You can shelve it or table it until the next meeting. So in the next meeting, once you are done discussing all the points, you can discuss about the pending items or the tabled or the shelved items from the previous meeting. So this is how you can chair a meeting and just make it happen. And it's that easy. Just prepare this way, apply it, come up with your own words, fill in the blanks with your own words, and just chair the meeting like a champion. All right? So good luck, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.